Alright, so rearward movement with rifle is going to be a little bit different than with pistol because we have to manage this, and ideally you're using two hands because this is a little bit heavier than a PCC. So this move, not great. So what I do when it comes to shorter movements, so treat that as the fault line, right, is even if the target is over here, I'm still exiting position this way, plant, hard pivot, and turn. Whereas with pistol, right, if I'm entering on a target that's over here, coming off, bop, 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 you're gonna dip down this way, plant, hard pivot, engage that way. Versus a target over here, up here shooting, gonna exit this way, plant, hard pivot, come around. Whereas with the rifle, right, I'm doing the same thing for this type of short movement, regardless of what target is on either side, just because it's going to be simpler and more efficient for me to come back on a hard exit like that, versus doing some wonky shit like this, or you've got the option, break it down even more. Again, you see a lot of the PCC shooters do this move, which is an option, but when you've got a light and a can, maybe a laser or whatnot up there, that becomes much harder to manage that weight one-handed out here. And sometimes it's a bit faster. It really depends on like how far the movement is. But generally speaking, if it's more than 3-ish yards, I'm gonna do that move, plant, hard pivot, and you really want to focus on really driving that gun back out when you pivot. So you'll see a lot of people who do this, and they'll come in, they'll be kind of leisurely on that move. They'll come in nice and slow. That's just time ticking away. Versus coming in, really driving that gun hard out, and just going ahead and getting your sights where they need to be. Another thing I want to add on top of this is on that rearward movement, I prefer to keep the stock pretty close to the shoulder versus out here, right? Because that's going to make it a little bit easier when you hit that position, right? So I'm coming in like this. It's easier to roll into the stock with it closer, and that's going to ensure a more consistent building of the mount. Versus if you come in and you've got it out here on that pivot, it's a lot more, and you might come in short, too deep, whatnot, versus kind of keeping it tucked close to the chest, right? You're gonna be able to roll your shoulder into the stock and build that good mount. So when you're actually entering that position, you come in with that good mount and you're just ready to shoot. You're not sitting there, oh shit, I came in short, have to adjust, and just wasting time there. So when you're moving back, just keep it close. And when you turn and pivot, it's just a roll in, build that good mount, get that solid connection, start shooting. So that's just a few simple considerations for when it comes to rearward movement with a rifle. And I would treat it the same way even if you don't have to mind the 180, right? It's gonna be easier to exit this way and kind of drive your momentum that way with the rifle versus a longer pivot, because most people are going to have their dominant foot back a little bit. So that's going to make that turn and pivot a little bit easier on the rearward initiation of movement. So just some considerations, right? It's always going to be a little bit faster to initiate that movement with rifle compared to pistol, where you've got the two different options, right? You've got this, or you've got this. And then the entries into position get a little more complicated depending on the position itself. That's an even deeper rabbit hole for another video.